Hello, everybody, and good morning to all of you. Thank you so much for joining us on My EdTech Life on this Saturday morning. So, for those of you that are just getting up, getting that first cup of coffee, or maybe getting that first bite of your favorite breakfast this Saturday, and you're watching the show, thank you so much for all of your support. We really appreciate it as week by week we bring you guys some amazing guests. And today is no different. As you know, every week we bring in educators, we bring in practitioners, we bring in subject matter experts that have definitely influenced me, or I have seen some of the work that they're doing, and it's something that is wonderful. And so again, think of this show, My EdTech Life. It's just a way of connecting educators one show at a time, and it's just a way for you to also continue to grow your PLF, your professional learning family. So today we have an amazing guest. We have Dr. Shantel Scott. And Dr. Shantel Scott is an amazing and passionate educator who has a lot of pizzazz. And I've had the honor of getting to know Dr. Scott over the, maybe about 3 weeks, 4 weeks now. And it is just amazing just to see just how energetic she is, how passionate she is. And one of the things that I learned about her is that she loves to take selfies. And that's something that we're going to be talking to you about today. And this is an area of expertise that Dr. Scott definitely has, or she's very knowledgeable in, is in the art of taking selfies. But not necessarily the way you think. In a way, there's definitely a lot more that goes behind it. So Dr. Shantel Scott, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day for, to share something so important and what I find to be a very interesting topic that maybe doesn't get shared enough, or we really just need to push this a lot more in the day and age that we're living in. So Dr. Scott, thank you again for being here. And I know I gave just pretty much a real nice introduction too, but
Yes.
please let our audience members know a little bit more about yourself too as well. Go ahead and let us know where you're from and your education experience, and then just dive right in and just share this amazing topic that we're going to be talking about today.
So I am Dr. Shan, as I am affectionately known, and I am from the great state of New Jersey, where I teach high school English. I am a Google certified innovator and trainer, and I have a little thing called the Learning Doctor Consulting, which both does educational technology coaching virtually now and speaking. So I'm also a motivational speaker where I run workshops and design learning experiences surrounding our initiative, hashtag This Is Me. So I'm coming to you this morning with my coffee, which actually says coffee in one hand, confidence in the other. And that's
Nice.
really kind of defines what I'm about. So shout out to my girlfriend who gave me this cup, which I think perfectly defines me in this moment. So can I tell you a story?
Of course, we definitely love to hear your story.
So the year 1988, and I am a kindergartner in Mrs. Heller's class. We used to play something called house, which is a common game that girls would play. And there was another girl, and we'll just call her Kay for the sake of anonymity. And Kay wanted to be the mama, but so did I. And we got into it about wanting to be the mama. But ultimately, I lowered my voice and she raised her and quite assertively wrapped her little clammy hands around my neck and declared, I am the mama. Now, how did this end? Well, Kay did become the mama that day. But Mrs. Heller took me, put me on her lap, gathered the class around, and made a teachable moment out of it. She said, Chantel, I know your background. I know where you come from. She had my brother. she made some positive affirmations about me in front of the class. And she reminded me, without putting K down, that I have to use my voice. I have to speak up, that there was a way to handle this situation better and not just fold because someone else was speaking louder than me. And this is, quite honestly, one of my very first memories of school, of a teacher, of education in general. And that is where my passion for This Is Me comes from. I will not pretend that I haven't had many other role models and experiences since then. But I think it's so important that that has been stuck with me. Use your voice, Shantel. You are just as good as everyone else, and you need to use your voice to show that. So that is my baseline. That's where I'm coming from. That is my first memory of school. And like I said, that's where the heart of This Is Me and me as a teacher, that's really my philosophy.
That's wonderful. And that's such a great story as we hear just how important it is to just really amplify student voice and just to be heard. And one of the things that I loved, and I shared the quote there in the chat with people so they can hear, and I'm going to go ahead and just share your site here. This is what I love right here. And this is the This Is Me, hashtag This Is Me movement, bold, unfiltered, real. And I'll share that link with all our viewers. But I really, this is one of the things that really caught me right here as you were really talking about this is just to be your real self, find your unfiltered voice, boldly share your story, claim your space in the world and be heard. And I think that that's such a wonderful message for a lot of students that, oftentimes, we go to school and I can remember going to school and sometimes it's, teachers teach and we don't get to talk or participate or maybe just express ourselves, because it's like, no, we got to kind of stick to what we need to do. But I think that this goes beyond just the classroom, but it goes into the personal space as well. So, Dr. Scott or Dr. Shan, I'll call you Dr. Shan because that's how I know you too as well. Just tell us a little bit more now that you started off, telling the story, your baseline. Tell us a little bit more of how this movement initiated, the story behind it, maybe with your Innovator project, and how did you start kind of getting those ideas of bringing this to life?
So, as a high school English teacher, I see a lot that is happening in the hallways. Um, the whole focus on clicks and followers and filters and how that culture of clicks, followers, filters was kind of creeping its way into real life. Um, that everything that students were doing was fake to some extent in order to present themselves or their fake selves in these hallways. So, with that being said, um, I've been noticing it a long time. I've had a lot of access to a lot of girls over the course of the years, and I wanted to do something about it. So when the Google Innovator project, well, when I had the awesome opportunity to go to Denmark in 2018 and work with an amazing group of Google innovators where this project was born. It's like, well, how can we make sure that people's mindset or the mindset of people shows up online and also filters back into their real lives. So this is a mindset movement. It's a wellness movement. Yes, it has a social media impact, but it's all mindset. And so I really wanted to do something to impact girls specifically, but the mindset that comes behind this is really
All right. Sorry about that, Dr. Shan. I think we just
Okay.
had a little hiccup. Yeah, but we're good. We're back. We kind of, it was either probably on my end and stuff like that. So I do apologize for that. Again, hey, we were just talking about this earlier. It's just like with tech, you just don't know. We just
Just don't
adapt and
know.
overcome. But, thank you so much for sharing that. And I just kind of wanted to hit back because I know I missed some of what you were talking about. But I think one of the things that really stuck to me was how you're saying, just the social emotional aspect of what is going on in social media. Can you expound that a little bit more? Because, once, and it really kind of just hit me when you said, the clicks, the followers, the filters, and you're building this persona, and we actually had a conversation about personas this week and in a different aspect, but, just go into that a little bit more in that social emotional because sometimes people don't understand that the person that you may see in the pictures is not necessarily the person that is there in real life. They could be having some struggles and things of that sort. What has been your experience through that?
Well, I think the selfies, the other selfies, the likes, the followers, the filters, the hashtagging has created this dangerous culture of comparison. Especially the younger you are, the more that culture of comparison actually impacts your mindset and how you actually behave in real life. So um, I wanted to change the mental health of students. I initially wanted to initially, when the project first began, I simply wanted to have a social media page that people could see something different and see that there are layers behind what you see on social media. The project has turned into so much more. It has become more of a mindset movement where I've had the opportunity to work directly hands on with girls, virtually with girls, um, and really just work on the anxiety, the depression, the negative body image that comes along with this dangerous culture of comparison, and show them that it's okay to just be you. It is totally acceptable to just be you. Everyone doesn't have a great day. And that's kind of where the selfie movement comes in. So I affectionately call myself the selfie queen, but that's because I believe that selfies are self-empowerment tools. So yes, I totally think you should be holding a camera up and hitting click. But before you do that, you need to stop, erase the negativity that is on your mind, even about, it could be about anything. Maybe you have something on your mind, or maybe you're just like, I wonder if I look good enough or whatever. Look around, find the joy in exactly what it is that, um, just find the joy in what is in your life in that moment. Then take a deep inhale and an exhale and move forward. So I believe in taking selfies, and I certainly believe that that is how you take the perfect selfie. So yes, the picture that you're taking and posting to social media, if you have gone through that process prior to posting it, then there's no way that you will feel the anxiety and the comparison that often comes with that. But also, it's a mindset that I need to take a moment and breathe and then press forward. And that's what I do in my classroom. That's what I share with girls all over when I have the opportunity to work with them. And certainly that is what is filtering in to my social media pages.
Oh, that's wonderful. And right now, as you were, explaining the selfie, I did bring up your Instagram page, and you can find "This Is Me" movement on Instagram as well. And it has exactly what you said, the selfie. And even the first time that I saw that too, I think it was just something that was just so wonderful in seeing this because as being an educator for 15 years, you kind of see these things go through, but maybe it's just sometimes you feel terrible because even as educators, we can miss out on so much, and we try and help our students as much as we can, and try and take care of them as much as we can, but they battle every day, like you said. They may not have perfect day. We don't know the issues and troubles that they may be having and going through. And I think just the what you described as far as the selfie is just really just stopping, reflecting, erasing, looking around, finding that joy can definitely be something that can be very helpful. And I don't think that we
Absolutely.
we teach too much about this, or as much as we should, especially now with the way that adolescents are, the teenagers, and now everything going digital and virtual. I mean, it could definitely be it's a difficult time because students are not socializing either as much as they should or as they would when they're going to their common areas like school, and sharing those activities and things of that sort. That it can also be something very difficult for them right now, being in isolation. And so yeah, definitely social emotional learning is something that is definitely something that is important and needed. And I really enjoy that you're taking this to that level, and really going out and helping these young adolescent teens, and these young girls to just be bold and reflect, and let them be heard, claim their space. And I love what you said too, that um you know sometimes we do our culture, it's that comparison. And this doesn't end even as teens. I mean, I think even as adults, and many people maybe too closed and saying like, no, that doesn't happen to me. But I mean, if I'm able to admit that, yeah, we still, even in our professional setting, we still compare ourselves to others. And sometimes we may not feel like, oh man, like they really got it together, or they're, man, look at them, they're doing well. And it's still something that even affects us as adults. And I think one of the things that is also very important, that goes along with what you're saying, is just really knowing your worth, never bringing yourself down. And I think that that culture of comparison can be very, very dangerous for young impressionable minds.
Absolutely. One of the things that has filtered into my actual classroom is this idea of this is me and social emotional learning. And I know this is my EdTech life, so I just love to share how I'm using educational technology to push this bold, unfiltered real mindset. From the very first day of school, whether it's going to be virtual or in person, I often have the students stand up and, or I guess, show their screen now, and make this declaration. I am, and you fill in your name, and I want you to listen to me. And quite honestly, it is the hardest thing that students have to do, period, is to stand up and boldly declare that I am who I am. What you think about me does not matter, and you're going to listen to me this year. I follow that activity up with students actually taking a selfie and then coming up with an I am statement of their own. Who do you want to be this year? Do you want to be more brave? Do you want to be more patient? Do you want to be more courageous? And we need to make this declaration in the very first 2 days of school. So, how does that work with my lesson planning? Well, I have flipped lesson planning on its head. We start with the character lab. My classroom is basically a character lab. We start with those things that the kids have said, this is who I want to be. And that's what drives my planning. My planning then becomes, okay, how do I teach courage? How do I teach patience? How do I teach bravery? How do I teach whatever? Then I select the content, and then I more intentionally select the technology tool that will help me do that. And of course, we know that there are many, many tools that have popped up now. Technology in the classroom is not what it used to be. Um, there's more human centric tools that are available to us now. Flipgrid, Classcraft has the social emotional learning element. Mind Yeti, 3D Bear, Adobe, even in
Yes.
the creation of things. So more intentionally selecting the tools so that they can learn those character traits that they need to learn. It's not just about using technology for the sake of using technology. That is not what drives my lesson planning. It's the character traits. That's why I like to call my Dr. Shan's class is a character lab, where we use technology to build those traits. So that's how I'm using it in my classroom. Of course, it's filtering out, bubbling over into other areas of my life with my speaking. And I do have to say, even in my coaching, the one mission of the Learning Doctor Consulting is to empower teachers to use these tools, um, or whatever it is, uh, to the best of their capability. It's not my job to just teach you the tool. It is my job to show you how social emotional learning can play into your classroom, to teach you the tool, but also so to empower you enough that you don't need me. I know, is that a good business model? Probably not. But I that you don't need me eventually,
Mhm.
that you are empowered to even share your experience that and your use of the tool with somebody else. So I'm all about empowerment, and it shows up in a lot of different ways, in my life.
Oh, that's wonderful, and that's so great, like you're saying, and I can kind of compare it a little bit to just what I do too as well. Like, you do the coaching and you're working with students, but when you're working with teachers as I do, it's like you said, I really want to empower them. Like you said, it's very important that, you teach them the tool, but how you can really add additional layers to that. And I think that's wonderful because I think in the end, when they're able to just take what you've been able to teach them and they build up that confidence and they go out there and then they kind of mix it around, make it their own, and then they see some tremendous results, not only for them professionally, but for their students, the added benefits with the social emotional learning. And I think that just makes it just a wonderful experience that I know a lot of those teachers are just going out there and just sharing those experiences with others. And I think that what you're doing is something that's wonderful and something that is very impactful. And I think that that's something that is amazing, and not only just working with the teens, but empowering the teachers to see this. Because like I said, sometimes as educators, we can go in with blinders on where we're just focusing on what we need to teach, and we forget about all those other aspects that play into the teaching, the social emotional. I have a colleague of mine who teaches, and right now, at the very beginning, like you said, it's just really just I just want to get to know my students, build that
Yes.
empathy, know them. He says, I when we're in class, before we even start with our lesson, is like if I see a student that's wearing a particular team jersey, I ask him about it. It's like, hey, who's your favorite player? Who's this? And just getting to know them. And he said that this first week has created, just a community within that classroom that is very different than how it was in a regular, brick and mortar school where it was just go, 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 go. And
Go,
now
go.
it's more like, hey, let's take the time to know each other and build that psychological safety where students don't feel that they can't share and that they're going to be, just, oh man, no, I don't want to ask because they're going to think this or they're going to think that. So I think the way you start your class and making those declarations, like you said, it can be very difficult for a lot of students, because they've never spoken up or they've never spoken out, and maybe no one, or if they've tried, but nobody's ever paid attention or heard. And I think that's wonderful, Dr. Shan. That is just really inspiring to me to hear that there are just amazing teachers such as yourself that are going out there and going above and beyond to just not only work with curriculum, but build in that social emotional learning within that curriculum. Excellent. So that's awesome. Dr. Shan, any other projects that you have working on or that you're working on? Anything else that you'd like to share with us about the This Is Me movement, places where people can go ahead and find more information, follow you, things of that sort. Go ahead and share with everybody. I'm going to put the links in to your site, but please go ahead and take this time to just let our audience members know, what is it that you'll be working on, or plans for the future maybe.
Well, please follow me so that you can keep up with everything I'm about to say, either on Twitter at the Learning Dr, um, or, and most importantly, on Instagram at This Is Me MVMT. So that's at This Is Me Movement. So I am doing a lot of things. It's so hard to even just think about everything, but there are a few things that I just want to point out. Every fall, This Is Me Movement runs a challenge. The challenge this year is going to be how to fall in love with uncertainty. And it's going to be a lot about that selfie, that S, stop, E, erase, L, look around, F, find your joy, inhale, I, and E, exhale. It's going to be all about how really to take that perfect selfie. So please follow me on Instagram so that you can be a part of that challenge. In addition, I am going to be presenting at the ISTE Creative Constructor Lab. And that is an amazing opportunity for educators. That it's really one of the best conferences, in my personal opinion, because you are creating, ideating, and just all around learning to build things. And I'm going to be doing a session on, well, trendy Bitmoji Classroom, but that's not what's important. It's going to be the Character Lab edition, and really showing you how I build that Character Lab virtually, or will be building it virtually in my classroom. So join me there. Please register for ISTE and that conference. Also, and this is no secret because I'm telling everybody, but mainly to keep me focused on the goal. I'm so excited that I'm writing this children's book, and I just,
Wow.
it's going to be This Is Me centered, and all about how a little girl and her dog learns to take this perfect selfie ultimately. So look for that. And of course, I'm always available for speaking. I know we're in a virtual world, so I am ready to motivate and inspire all of you, not just women and girls. So everywhere. And certainly the Learning Doctor Consulting does excellent educational technology training because you get me. So that's about it. Please follow me and keep up with, this movement.
That is awesome, Dr. Shan. And again, I just really thank you for being here today. And I know that we could definitely keep on, going on about this, because this is such an important topic. And I just really appreciate you taking the time, because again, like I said, this is something that even late in my career, I'm still learning. And now I'm learning and really seeing, what the process of social emotional learning is, as, days go by, weeks go by. And then I see, like, wow, if I would have known a little bit more about this while I was in the classroom, things could have been different. But maybe I was doing a little bit of it, but I just didn't know. But I feel that this is something important, and I'm glad that you agreed to come on the show, because you're able to share this. And I think that this message for today is, whoever it may be that may be listening, is something that's going to be very beneficial. And also, with all the information that you shared, and I put in your pages, your Twitter, also your Twitter account, the Instagram account, so people can follow you and follow the This Is Me movement, and just to get a little bit more information about, what is out there and what we can do. Because like you said, one of the things that stuck out is just the the dangers of the culture of comparison, and the clicks, followers, and filters, and how that can affect our teens, and even as adults too. I mean, it doesn't hurt to just continue learning these things and being able to help all our students. So thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. You are just so energetic, full of pizzazz. And, I'm definitely, if you want to take the perfect selfie, contact Dr. Shan because she is the selfie expert, guys. And again, please follow her on Twitter, follow her on Instagram. She's going to be doing some very great things. And hopefully, once she publishes her book, also as well, we'll have her back on as a guest. And Dr. Shan, you always have a seat available here with us at any time, whatever project you may be working on, and you just want to share, you can contact us, and we'll be more than happy to set up a show and just get that information out to all our audience
Thank
members.
you.
So thank you so much. And everybody that's watching us, thank you again for making this a wonderful week. We thank you all for your support. We're continually growing. We're continually, we're excited because of the results and the comments and the feedback that we get from many of you. And like I said, the premise of the show is just to bring in people that I find that have inspired me, and I feel that they need to be heard too as well, so that you all guys can experience that inspiration and to continue to grow your professional learning family and continue adding more tools to your teacher tool belts to help you during this time of not only remote learning, but just as education is ever evolving. We definitely need to have as many tools available to be at the ready in season and out of season. So thank you all for making us part of your morning. Those of you that are enjoying your probably second, third cup, thank you. Those of you that are just waking up and maybe you just caught a little bit of the show, don't worry. You can go ahead and watch the replay. These will be up on our Wakelet page that I'll be sharing on Twitter. So you can go ahead and check out the podcast or just do a replay of this show. So thank you guys. Y'all take care and you all have a wonderful day. And don't forget to stay techie, my friends.